I think a lot of people might disagree with this list, but I stand by it. Here are my top 5 favourite Disney movie soundtracks. At number 5 we have The Little Mermaid. This is a collection of wonderful songs that is perfectly topped off by the iconic Part of Your World. The Little Mermaid soundtrack is from the Alan Menkin and Howard Ashman era, who are two Disney legends responsible for some of the most famous Disney songs of all time. Together they brought heart and warmth and humour to the songs of The Little Mermaid. From Under the Sea to Kiss the Girl to Poor Unfortunate Souls, this soundtrack is full of powerful and catchy tunes. Part of Your World, I would argue, is a contester for one of the greatest Disney songs of all time. Just a contester. I didn't say it was the greatest, but it's certainly up there. Wonderfully performed and distinctly memorable. I would be remiss not to put it on this top 5. Moving on to number 4, it's Aladdin. This is another soundtrack from the Howard Ashman and Alan Menken era. However, unfortunately, Howard Ashman would die of AIDS before the completion of the film, so Tim Rice took over as lyricist. Ashman lives on through a phenomenal body of work, including this incredible soundtrack. And if you're interested to learn more about the man, there's an excellent documentary on Disney Plus called Howard, all about his life. The Aladdin soundtrack is full of mystery and fun and really brings the kingdom of Agrabah to life. The inspiring love song A Whole New World... God, I just had a weird memory of singing that in primary school choir. It's a great song. It's a good love song. Plus, who could forget the... I keep using the word iconic in this video, but this truly is iconic. Who could forget the iconic performance of Robin Williams as the genie, bringing us the absolutely brilliant Friend Like Me and Prince Ali. I didn't know that rhymed. The soundtrack is rounded off by the exciting song One Jump Ahead, and it's beautifully reprised later in the movie with a wonderful, touching, slower, gentle arrangement, which I really love. The movie Aladdin was never high on my list of favourite Disney movies growing up, but their stellar soundtrack definitely is. Obviously, I've been referring to the original Aladdin soundtrack in this video, and I do think it's better. I think the addition of the song Speechless was great, and it was really nice to have Princess Jasmine have a song like that, but aside from that, it's always going to be the original for me. Coming in at number 3, we have Moana. I really enjoyed the film Moana, and obviously I loved the music as well. One of the reasons I love this soundtrack so much is because I think Polynesian culture and art and architecture and music is just fantastic. So it didn't take long for the beautiful Moana soundtrack to win me over. Plus, I'm a big Lin-Manuel Miranda fan, and he wrote a lot of the songs for this, and performed in some of them too. The Moana soundtrack is a wonderful collection of songs, perfectly mixing traditional music from the Pacific with pop and Broadway show tune vibes. This is true of the lyrics as well, which often shifts between English lyrics and Polynesian vocals. It's really, really lovely. It's a Disney soundtrack like no other, and I'm not just saying that because Dwayne Johnson has a song in it, which he crushes, by the way. You're Welcome is an absolute bop. One other thing I really like about the Moana soundtrack is the score itself. Unlike with Aladdin or The Little Mermaid, I really found myself enjoying the entire album of the Moana soundtrack, both the songs and the wonderful, beautiful orchestral score created for the movie. If I'm studying or working, I'll often find myself just listening to the score. It's just really beautiful music. Moving on to the number 2 slot, and it's The Princess and the Frog. I only watched The Princess and the Frog rather recently. I didn't see it when it came out, but my word, that soundtrack is terrific. Firstly, similar with Moana, I love New Orleans as a place and its culture and its music. I'm lucky enough to have gone to New Orleans. Click the link for that video now, if I remember to put it in the video when I upload it to YouTube, because that's a 50-50. Anyway, I'm lucky enough to have visited New Orleans, and watching this movie, and in particular listening to the soundtrack, really reminds me of the city. It's jazzy and it's exciting and it's fun, and it just paints the most fabulous picture of New Orleans. But I don't only love this soundtrack because of its connection to the Big Easy. The songs stand on their own 2 feet. Whether it's the inspirational Almost There, or the sinister Friends on the Other Side, or the surprisingly touching Ma Belle Evangeline, this soundtrack is packed full of great songs that are so evocative and so great to listen to. It's head-bopping, foot-tapping fun, and it gives jazz that Disney polish, and I absolutely love it. Now, I thought about doing an honourable mentions list before I moved on to my number 1 pick, but to be honest, it's going to be a very long list. I think Disney has created some absolutely incredible music over the past almost 100 years now. Everything from the original tunes in Steamboat Willie all the way up to a lot of the soundtracks I'm referencing today, like Moana or The Princess and the Frog. To be honest, I think the list would be shorter if I talked about the soundtracks I wasn't a fan of. But even that, I'm struggling to come up with any. Brave, maybe? I can't remember any of those songs. Anyway, let's wrap this video up with my number one choice, my favourite Disney movie soundtrack ever. And that soundtrack is Mary Poppins. Whoa, curveball, I know. I bet you weren't expecting a live action movie to sneak this number one spot, were ya? Or maybe you were, then congratulations. Where do I start with this soundtrack? It is full of some of the most classic songs in not only Disney history, but maybe even Hollywood history. Well, let's begin at the beginning with maybe one of the most beautiful overtures in a Disney movie ever. Then follow that up with great song after great song after great song after great song after great song. Everyone knows the iconic Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and The Spoonful of Sugar, but even the supporting songs are just gold. Pure gold. The adorable song The Perfect Nanny, the uplifting finale Let's Go Fly a Kite, the fantastic Sister Suffragette, the Chim Chim Chiri. That's just like half the songs in this soundtrack. And who could forget Step in Time, which gave us one of Hollywood's most amazing dance numbers, in my opinion. Written by the Sherman Brothers, who themselves might be some of the greatest American songwriters of all time, this soundtrack stands the test of time, without a doubt. Of course, I can't talk about this album without mentioning the very moving Feed the Birds. This was apparently one of Walt Disney's favourite songs, and he would often have the Sherman Brothers over to his office on Friday afternoons, and sometimes he would just stand up, look out the window, and Dick Sherman would know what that meant, and he would start playing it on the piano. It's a lovely story, it's an absolutely wonderful soundtrack, and it is, without a doubt, my favourite. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I would love to know about your favourite Disney soundtracks in the comments down below, or any of your favourite soundtracks from movies. I'm always a fan to hear about those. Thanks so much for watching. Again, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.